Hi guys, and welcome to my review of Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. This is a movie that's been on my radar for some time, but there has always been a slight moment of a hesitancy with me, and that's really not down to any technical fault that I could put it down to. Maybe just for just my personal taste. Because Guillermo del Toro is a director who I guess I have to kind of say that I've always kind of admired and appreciated more than I've actually enjoyed, if that makes sense. I mean, I did like the Hellboy films quite a bit. I did enjoy Shape of War, but I think a few of his other stuff. And there's no denying the guy's visceral flair and his talents. But yeah, it a lot of it just hasn't been kind of my personal, hasn't quite landed with me personally, and that's no, like I said, no fault on Guillermo del Toro, because I think if you watch a lot of his work, all of his skill set that he has is kind of there for all to see. So it's just not my personal thing. So there was always a slight little hesitancy with that in mind. So yeah, but I was always a big enough fan of Mary Shelley's source material, and this kind of made me intrigued to check out and see what it was all about. So yeah, I mean, we basically have Oscar Isaac playing the part of Victor Frankenstein here, and I do appreciate the structure of this film quite a bit. We have this kind of like opening prelude where this where Frankenstein's monster attacks attacks this ship, and here we have Victor Frankenstein and Frankenstein show up, and we just basically I do really like the design of Frankenstein's monster here, and I do really appreciate how this. I mean, it's always kind of been said before about Frankenstein, but it's always been. But I do appreciate this adaptation kind of laying the point, in the sense of we really kind of see that Victor Frankenstein is a real monster here. The design of a monster is not really designed to be scary. It's not scary at all. He's very kind of like humanized in this, and it's really kind of really accentuates the humanity of a monster and the monster of Victor Frankenstein. It really doesn't, mess about with that. It really, it doesn't really pull any punches in letting you know that while this Victor Frankenstein is a great scientist, he's also an absolute dick and shit father. So yeah, basically as I said with Guillermo del Toro, when you tend to watch his work, he's a very visceral gothic director, and this adaptation is no exception. The production value of this is absolutely phenomenal. It just every single frame of this just looks amazing. I don't know how much of this was set design and how much CGI, but it seemed to be a lot of practical. I mean, obviously there's going to be some CGI in here, but it's handled really well. And yeah, just the set designs, the cinematography on the whole is just immaculate here. I mean, every single scene in this just looks like a visceral treat. So we have a really strong cast here. Like I said, we got Oscar Isaac in here. We got Mia Goth in here. And yeah, I would say that also. What I'm happy to report back is the pacing is really it is really good here as well. I think, as I said, the structure helps out a lot, where you get this prelude and then you go into Victor Frankenstein's kind of POV, and then you switch over to the monster's POV. And usually, when you have a film that switches between perspectives, there's a lot of kind of rehashing and going over the same events, albeit kind of just through different POVs. So you see all these events from different POVs. You don't have that here when you follow the story up until a certain point with Victor Frankenstein, and then when it switches to the monster's POV, it's just like this will be kind of like, it's just a continuation from that story. It still continues to be very linear, and it just yeah. So you never have any sort of going over the same events, but just from a different POV. It just acts very, the transitions here are just very effortless, and they just come across as really natural. And although this is a 2.5 hour film, it really doesn't feel like it. This just seems to whiz by, and I think a part of that, like I said, it is because of the structure of this, but also just because of how visceral it is, and you really become invested into this world and into these characters. So yeah, on a little bit of a downside note, there is the ending of this is, I mean, we know that Guillermo del Toro is is a very kind of a bit of a romantic guy. In terms of, he's a very romantic type filmmaker, and this by and large kind of helps this adaptation as well. But it does make for, we get a little bit of an ending here that obviously I don't want to spoil everything, I want to keep this, but the ending does become a little bit overly sentimental, and it doesn't seem to be at odds with a lot of the themes that are going on here. There's Yeah, so that's my only real negative. But on the whole, this is just a really rich adaptation. You get a lot of religious allegory here. You basically have references to Adam and Eve and Jesus, and that's very much in keeping with obviously Mary Shelley's source material here. You also have these moments where Victor Frankenstein is so horrified at what he's kind of like created, or so regretful about what he's created, that he tries to kind of like completely destroy it all. So you get this little bit of like a kind of like an Old Testament kind of symbolism. I don't know if that's intentional. That might just be my own personal interpretation of it, but that's just how it came across to me. With all the religious symbolism and the religious themes that we have in the story. That's just kind of like how it kind of came across to me personally. So on the whole, guys, this I'm happy to say is a really strong retelling of a very classic story, and yeah, just really solid. Like I said, I was worried about the 2.5 hour runtime, just kind of cause it to sag a little bit maybe, but as I find that happens with a lot of period pieces, and like I said, that's nothing down to necessarily the fault of that particular project. That's just more my personal taste. But yeah, this wasn't the case here. Like I said, the pacing just it is so well thought out. It's so well crafted, and the 2.5 hours just really shoots by. So yeah, just yeah, really strong retelling of Frankenstein here, and I would just absolutely recommend you guys checking this out on Netflix. So yeah, thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more, don't forget to ring a bell for notifications. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, feel free to let me know down in the comment section about what your own thoughts were on this, if you've seen it. Yeah, I will see you guys in the next video.